little about the state of the mindset? I mean, a 3-game win streak combined with knowing for sure that you guys are eliminated from the playoff race. How do you approach this week?
Yeah. Yeah, I know it sucks, but you kind of approach the week as you approach any other week in a sense. I mean, obviously don't want to be, super and say, oh, we have a chance, but we don't. But, we're playing for a lot of different things. We're playing for momentum into next year. We're playing for DA. We're playing for, our coordinators. We're playing for a lot of people. We're playing for ourselves. We're playing for a lot of our brothers because if you think about it, at the end of the day, we won't have the same team next year. So just kind of embracing what we have, just having fun with it. I mean, we don't just do it for the money. We do it just because we have fun with it, and this is something that we've been blessed with to play since we were little kids. So just taking advantage of just having fun our last game together.
You said playing for DA pretty early in that. Is
Yeah.
that an acknowledgement of the noise you guys can't help?
No, I mean, so you have to think about, a lot of times, especially early in the year, a lot of guys don't play for their coaches, and a lot of times they don't like their coaches. But knowing that we have such a close relationship with our coach, we're playing for him. And so we're playing for each other, we're playing for him, we're playing for our coordinators, playing for a lot of other people. And so obviously, you hear a bunch of noise, especially in my comments and stuff like that, but you definitely you play for the guys that invest so much time in you. DA has invested so much time into us. He's invested so much time, energy into the defense. And so, just playing for your coach is kind of one of the biggest things that you see in the NFL and a lot of teams who are doing well. You see them playing for their coaches.
Is there anything that either DA or the whole coaching staff as a whole has done that you can really point to, either an approach or specific X's and O's that helped make the second half of the season so much better than the first?
I feel like it's the comfortability. I think DA's got so comfortable with us. You can just kind of see it when he goes into meetings, just more relaxed, just ready to get after it. Not anything that's so hoorah. You don't really have to get that at the end of the season anymore. It's just more so of you know your job, you got to do it, you got to fulfill it. And that's kind of the approach that we've kind of had, this past couple of games. I don't know if that kind of translated, but we know our job. And so he's just you got to do, just do it. Have fun with it. You've been doing it since you were a kid. In Cleveland, he said, you ever have a time where you were playing in the snow? Some people don't because they're from Florida. But, for me being from Jersey, I always played in the snow. And so his Cleveland approach was just treat it as if you were playing in the snow when you were a little kid. And that's what we did. We had fun. And this past week was more so playing like it was a playoff game because that's essentially what it was. We're playing a playoff caliber team. And, us doing that, going out there and doing what we did. I mean, that's nothing more. How could you not play for somebody like that? So it just puts it to perspective that, when you play for a guy that's invested so much into you, that's all you want to do.
You acknowledge the idea that, the team might be, it'll be a different team next year, but
Yeah.
Contract talks, those types of things aside, how important or what kind of an impact does a strong finish to the season have for your off-season outlook getting ready for 2023?
It means everything. Momentum means everything, especially in NFL. I mean, when you get momentum, you don't want to play a team that's been on a roll, especially if us going to the playoffs. If, we had this next game, we play this next game, I'm pretty sure nobody in the NFL wants to play us because a team who's won 5 games straight, going into the postseason or even the next season, they're a hot team to play against. So it means everything to win this next game, and just really excited to get back out there and really give it our all this last game because, to be honest, the last game we got.
There was a small outside chance that y'all could have been the 7th seed. Had a lot of things going your way after the Bucks won yesterday. Were you paying attention to that at all? I don't know if y'all were still in the air when
Yeah.
these games were going on, but
I didn't know anything. I just knew that, the Bucks won, so obviously it was pretty hard for us to get in, but I know there was some chance that we could possibly be in there. But I would have held on to that chance because, it's the playoffs and we were hot and, we still are hot. But, just going into it, I just will clinch on anything just to have that opportunity to make it to the playoffs and make a run for the Super Bowl. So I didn't really keep up with it, but I just knew that the Bucks won. I didn't know any external things that came with it. but I just knew that, we could have a possibility of going even if the Bucks did win the division. So then I heard the news when I was literally on the flight, and I was like, yeah, it kind of sucked, but that's how the game goes.
It feels like, that first half against the Eagles may have been the best you all played all season. I don't know if you'd agree or not, but it's kind of like bittersweet that when the day y'all seem to put everything together, it's almost like
Yeah.
too
Yeah,
late, you know?
it definitely sucks, but it definitely shows how hard, this game is, especially being that you've had so many moving parts, especially in the offensive line, especially in the receiver room, especially in quarterback. It's just so many moving parts that you have to be on one accord literally every single week. And if it's not that, you fall short and you fall behind on games. And, it's just so many close games that we've should have won, could have, should have. But when you don't fulfill those things in the time that we needed to, because it felt like all year we were saying, oh, one game back, one game back, one game back, and then you don't fulfill it, and then we have to worry about the other teams losing. It just shows how much in sync you have to be in this business.
We've asked you kind of about your development into the tight end position pretty much all throughout the season.
Yeah.
Talk to you.
Yeah.
Do you feel going into the final game of the year that you are beyond your own expectation at this point from maybe where you were at the beginning of the season?
That's a pretty good question. I guess to answer your question, I would say that I'm not where I want to be yet. I still feel like there is so much more that I want to do, so much more things I want to get better at, and I'm not nearly where I want to be in terms of the position of being a tight end, because I feel like there's so much more. I definitely feel like I want to be the best that I can be here. I feel like I can best that I can be in this franchise and best I can be in the league. And I feel like there's so much more that I could give that I'm not quite there yet, but I feel like it's coming because the confidence is definitely there for myself.
I'm going to ask you about any specifics. Is there anything? Because I know we've talked about
Yeah.
run blocking,
Yeah.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Is there other pieces?
Yeah, just in particular, just route running, receiving. There's so much more things that I feel like I can get better at. And, people can say the stats and this and, he's doing that. But I know in myself that there's so much more that I could give. And there's a lot more I can give that people haven't seen yet. And I feel like this year is just literally the beginning.
Do you feel like there's kind of this group of you guys, we've asked you about this before with Rashid, but the undrafted free agents
Yeah.
that kind of come in.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that sort of, you, Carl Granderson, Ichiki, that sort of, motivation that has really propelled y'all throughout this season, have you seen that continue to step up throughout the year so far?
Yeah. I don't know what Mickey's doing. I don't know how he finds these guys. I don't know what he does, but man, he does a great job, man. And the thing is, us undrafted guys, we don't come in thinking that we just arrived just because we're on a team. We just want so much more, and I know that even when Rashid was he wasn't able to play yet, he was still on the jugs, catching when he couldn't even fully run full speed yet, and I'm like, dang, I'm trying to get on the jugs. Why are you on the jugs right now? But I just know he wanted to get better in that moment during, I think it was maybe OTAs. And so I just seen it in him then that he was going to be pretty good. I didn't think he was going to be this good, but I mean, he's doing great, man. And then Grando, he's doing awesome as well. Just filling the role of being on that edge and doing what he's doing on special teams is just so great because he just wants more. In ourselves, I just feel like it's just a chip on our shoulders. I just feel like it's so much more that we want to do just because we weren't drafted. And I feel like Mickey has done a great job in finding these guys and the team that he has around to get us guys up and to be on this team.
So when you mentioned DA, playing for DA, and you see kind of the picture of him walking into the locker room yesterday with a really satisfied smile.
Mm-hmm.
The post-game speech after Cleveland where he gave the game ball to the equipment guys.
Yeah.
Are those kind of the qualities, or I guess a better way to phrase it is, what is the quality that makes him a head coach?
Yeah. Well, it's just so many things. I kind of think of a coach, especially a coach that you want to play for, much as like a father figure, like a guy that you just come to, who you talk to, who you surround your guys with, who is quiet when they speak and kind of have that presence in the room when they enter the room. And Sean kind of had that same feel. Like Sean didn't say, he didn't yell and say, all right, it's time for meeting. He just started speaking and everybody was quiet. And it's kind of like how the same feel with DA when he just says morning. It doesn't have to be loud. It's not anything like that. It's when he speaks, everyone listens. And that's kind of how it is. And you got to have a coach like that. You got to have a coach that people respect, that people will follow. And that's really what's been happening in this locker room, and it's really good to see.
Heading into the last week of the season, what's your outlook on this spring in free agency? And have you thought about any of that at all yet?
Well, yeah, of course, because you never know what your future is, and I have a family, and so obviously we have to know what we're doing. But I feel like the biggest part is in the off season, just take your mind off football. And so I know you guys, that's not a popular opinion, but just taking your mind off football and kind of relaxing and looking back on the season, looking back on the year and seeing what I can get better at, and not knowing it's all about physical things, but knowing what you could do mentally. And because it's a long season, and knowing 17 games is a long time. Like, we still aren't done. Like, 2 years ago, we've been done. My rookie year, I would have been done. All right, we're done. But knowing that it's such a long season, and knowing that there's so much put upon you, you really have to get your mind ready for that.
Even a lot of, I was talking to him the other day, and he was saying he definitely felt like the rookie wall was real, and now the season for everyone is even longer. So
Right.
I'm sure, like, once you get to November, December.
Yeah, well, definitely knowing that.
Powers through a little bit.
Knowing that guy, like, he's been through the combine, the NFL draft, pro day, OTAs, minicamp, rookie minicamp, go through all those things, and then the season, 17-game season with preseason, it's pretty long for him. So just knowing that he's been doing what he's been doing for so long, he deserves this all season.
Yeah, I asked him, when was the last time you had a break from football? And he didn't know.
Right,
So
right.
I guess the few weeks from the summer, but that's
Don't lie, absolutely.
it's not really a break when you're
That's not a break.
ready to-
That's not a
ready
break.
to-
That's not a break.